Gosh, and it happened so fast, but in 4 days, I made $1,200.
Oh my goodness. So we're going to get into how and we can be helpful to the people watching.
Mhm.
How did you make $1,200 this week in 4 days?
Well, first things first, I joined the Your First 5K membership group. That was a game changer for me because I was really figuring out over the past couple of weeks, what do I need to do to get a cash infusion? Because I needed some
Yes.
money. And then there was the challenge, 5-day challenge, to create an offer and, just following your advice. And instead of creating one offer, I did decide to create kind of a three-tiered offer. I was kind of
Mhm.
thinking, how can I get more?
Mhm. Mhm.
And meet people where they are is really what I was also thinking too. So I created three different offers. One, a $97 30-minute resume review kind of coaching session. The next level was $300 for three coaching sessions, which is a deep discount from what I usually charge. And then a $500 like premium package to do resume, LinkedIn profile, and coaching. And within the first 24 hours, I had sold one of each.
Wow. Okay, so let's break it down because I think this is going to be so helpful for people. First of all, I just want to reiterate here. So we were working on the 5 day, your $100 offer challenge. And I did the $100 offer challenge because although it's called the 5K Club, I know that there are people who haven't sold anything online yet, and
Mhm.
just building that muscle is helpful. And for those of us who have, we know that going back to basics always helps when we're having struggles. It
Mhm.
always helps to go back to basics. And this is a 5 day challenge, and the replays are still available right now. So talk me through it. You did day one. And that,
Mhm.
how did that help you? 'Cause that was building your offer. How did that help you
Yes.
as someone who has sold before?
That was very helpful because I think I had been overthinking my offer mainly.
Yes. Yes.
I have had for a couple of years a 1 hour career coaching stress session for 155 an hour, but no one was booking it. The
Yeah.
other thing I think I got from you and whether your videos or what I've learned in the group is promoting.
Yes.
I don't consider myself a salesperson. It scares me a little sometimes. I don't want to feel pushy. And so I think I got the confidence in this group and the urgency. Whether,
Mm,
I needed the money, but also the challenge created a sense of urgency to get over whatever was holding me back. And
yeah.
even when I pressed publish or click publish, it scared me a little because I'm like, oh
Yes.
my gosh, these people are going to think that and then creating this sense of urgency. I literally had to convince myself. And so what I did is I made it a Mother's Day special. I think that also helped me with some of my fears of feeling pushy or feeling salesy.
Yeah.
It made sense to have create a sense of urgency around a holiday that was coming up. And then I thought the big companies, they do it all the time and
They
they have so many
do.
ways
I
about it.
I want to make sure because you started a couple of sentences I want to close the loop on. You said
Okay,
you you wanted to make sure you didn't come across as what?
salesy.
Salesy. And then days 2 and 3 specifically of the
Mhm.
challenge, we go step by step of how you can promote without it feeling so salesy. Because a
Mhm.
lot of times, especially if we have a smaller audience and we're like, a lot of these people know us. So we're not
Yes,
going to go out there and dance, it's I think the breakthrough for a lot of people is that we can be helpful to other people
yes.
and at least offer it, and as adults have let them have the decision that they get to decide, do they
Mhm.
want this? Okay, so then you found your offer with the GPT that I have and the prompts that I gave, and
Mhm.
then you pressed publish.
I did.
Okay, so
And then
talk
I
walk us through
wait.
it. Walk us through how that was. So was it, what platform was it on?
You know what? I use PayHip.
Okay,
I use it
PayHip.
for my website, and this is actually my first time building out actual coaching products in PayHip. I've had the website for almost 2 years.
Okay.
And so it all just started to click for me, and I got those three offers set up, got the website set up. That took a lot of work. I'm not going to even front,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was so worth it.
Yeah,
It was
because it's
so
still
worth
it's a lot of work, but it's still 4 days, and I I always get surprised by people who think it's not going to take some work, right? It's because the payoff, right? So it
Yeah.
is going to take work. People, if you don't want to work, then this is not exactly for you. But if you're
Mhm.
willing to put in that effort for things that can pay off for a long time, this is it. So, okay, then where did you promote it?
Yes. So I have a small email list that I just got maybe a month ago. And honestly, that came from your videos, watching you on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Where I actually hosted a free webinar because I also
Yeah.
do some HR exam prep coaching. And so I was trying to build that side of my business too. So I did a free webinar for people to learn about the exam. And I thought if no one shows up, at least I'll have email addresses. That's the goal.
Yes. Yes.
60 people registered, 6 people showed up, but I had
That's
those.
great. That's six people.
Then I went through all my emails of people that I've ever worked with at some point in time, and I built out this list of 118 people.
So from the 60 that you had built over the past month or the month ago, that
Hmm.
was the people who registered through your lead magnet and that we talk about all that.
Yep.
And then you just went through like one by one granular, this person might be interested, this person might be interested, because we
Yes,
all have somebody in our email list. Okay. And you
absolutely.
sent this out to 118 people. And
Hmm.
most people think I have to have thousands of people on my email list for me to get anything.
I
Okay.
thought that too.
So then you sent the email. What email did you send? Did you send it based on anything that was taught in the 5 day, or did you create your own verbiage?
I created my own verbiage
Yeah.
using ChatGPT for some
Yes.
help and
Yes.
really thinking about that subject line. Um,
Yeah.
and that, and I was a little nervous because I had never sent them anything else. So I felt a little bad. Like
Mm.
I had these emails, but I haven't really been nurturing this group of people. But here I am. I must end
Yeah.
it. And so I use Kit is the convert kit is what I use. And so
Yes.
I was surprised my open rate was way beyond what I guess industry standards are and the click rate. I don't remember the numbers offhand, but within
Yeah.
2 hours, like 40% had been open.
Yeah, 40%. That's huge. That's huge. And that's why it's okay to have a smaller, quote unquote, smaller list,
Mhm.
because if you can get that subject line right and you can have a really interesting, compelling offer, or like you said, nurturing them over time, once a week, sending them some information. Here's something that I learned this week.
Yeah.
Here's something that you a tool you can use. But then if you can have that line, they open it up, 40%. So about 50 people open that email. And
Mhm.
then what happened after that?
And probably with, so here's the funny thing. Something was going on with the email with PayHip, so I didn't get the notification when the first person purchased. It was someone who I'd known, and
Hmm.
she sent me an email, and she said, "By the way, I purchased one of your coaching," and I was like, "Let me look." And so I go there, and I see it that not only did she purchase someone else, and I had made $397, and it
Yes.
was like, "Oh my gosh, this works."
Oh my gosh. So
And that
you
was in 24 hours,
within 24 hours you got how much was the total?
497, 400.
497.
That was within the
Okay.
first 24 hours.
Wow, because I remember when you posted at 397. So
Well, that's what,
even
I'm sorry, 397. You're right.
okay, so
My bad.
397.
397.
So you
Yes.
sold a $300 package and a $97
97. Yes.
package.
In
And
24 hours.
if you hadn't offered both, you might have only said, "Oh, they'll only want the $97 offer." You wouldn't have known. So that's great. I don't
Right.
think you should go beyond three. Just by the way, anybody watching, I don't think you should go beyond three at a time, especially if you're starting out.
Yeah.
But you were seasoned. You had delivered this before, meaning you had done this before.
Mhm.
Okay, so
My
you
positioning wasn't good though.
exactly, yeah, and we'll talk about that in a second. But so then you had 397, and then what happened? Because I want to walk people
Yeah.
through like this was actually happening in real time. We were watching you
Okay,
do
so
this.
the 397, and then the following day, I got an email from someone who said, "Hey, I'm thinking of purchasing this for my mom. What do
Mm,
how do I gift it to her?" And I was like, "Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. Like, is the system set up with the gifting mechanism,
yes.
which it isn't. So I had to figure out a workaround. And even though I got the email, people sometimes say they're going to do things and you don't know if they are.
Yeah.
Then I
Yeah.
got a notification, $500.
Amazing.
I was like,
$500.
oh my gosh.
And what a great gift for her mom.
Hmm.
And what a, like a really thoughtful idea and gift for your mom for, that's so cool. I love that. And then And then total, how much have you made so far? And this is, we did the 5 days. This is day 7, basically, that we're recording this because it's
Okay.
2 days after we finished.
Yes, and I published my offer on May 6th. And so
Uh-huh.
I woke up this morning to a $97 sale, so a total of really $1,200.
$1,200. You started on May 6th. It is May 10th.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you really mean 4 days. You were not kidding about the 4 days.
Yes. And my offer expires tomorrow on Mother's Day at midnight.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
who
So
knows?
let's go back for a second. When you say that you had been struggling and
Mhm.
you also say you needed the money, can you talk anything that you're comfortable talking about there? I think will be very helpful to people. So whatever you'd like to say.
Yeah. I definitely needed the money. I was short on my rent. Um,
Hmm.
and it is a little tough saying that to all the people, but I want
Yeah.
people to know that when you're going through something, like probably the biggest thing is we all have something to offer, and we have something of value that really could help us, not just to grow a business, but even in time of need, and really trusting this process, trusting the advice you've given, the group, the way we're connecting with one another and encouraging and supporting each other. And like this enabled me to literally go to the bank and get a cashier's check to pay my rent.
That, I mean, that is so, when you said that online in the membership, I was just so blown away by that because, I have housing insecurity in my background. I've struggled with rent so many times, and it was one of those things that, I mean, as an adult, we struggle, and it's so much going on, so much is going on in life. And I appreciate you saying that out loud because I tell you what, leave a comment if you have been there because I bet you're going to see a lot of comments of I've been there, maybe even there right now. And how many people are you going to help by just saying it out loud?
And Arlen, I didn't want to borrow the money. I have family, friends,
Yeah.
probably would have, but I really
Yes.
kept saying to myself, and I'm a believer, and I was like, Lord, I don't want to have to borrow. I want to be able to earn this
Yeah.
doing what I know I can do. And
Yeah. It's about options. It's about
yeah,
options. I think if somebody is in dire straits and they want to ask for help, please ask for help. But
mhm,
know that you have some power. You
yes.
have some authority and some power. And that's what I wish for people to understand about themselves more. When you
Mhm.
talk about struggling, you mentioned that you had a $155 offer. It hadn't been selling. What do you think that breakthrough was for you this week? What do you think changed things for you?
It was really like owning the value of what I had to offer. Like I just had it sitting there kind of dormant. If somebody saw it, if somebody wanted it, great. I didn't promote it. I didn't um and I also posted on LinkedIn. I forgot to mention that. I sent my
This
email.
week. This
Yes.
week. Yes.
I
Hmm.
sent the email, and the same day around the same time I made a post on LinkedIn because
Love
I
it.
also have
Yeah.
a presence on LinkedIn.
Love that.
And so, but I never talk about what I don't want to say out to people. So I never,
Yeah.
even though I'm posting on LinkedIn frequently and sharing information, I'm always afraid to have a call to action because I don't want
Mm.
people to judge me for selling.
Yeah.
I'm really working on overcoming that because again, big businesses, if I want a bigger bank account, I got to start thinking bigger.
I mean, you just said it. You just said it. And I always say if you're not allergic to money, then you got to start doing things a little different if you don't see that bank account the way you need it to be. And I just think it's so profound what you're saying right now. I really do. When it comes to not trying to be salesy, the thing is, I think you even said it earlier. You said the big businesses do it. Everything is sales. Mark
Yeah.
Cuban says all the time, he's worth $6 billion. I have a joint venture with him and
Mhm.
have known him for several years. He says always be selling. And
Ooh.
he's a very buttoned up guy. He doesn't like certain things, but he's like, you have to have the sales gene. You have to, or create it for yourself. So
Mm.
when you think about it, do you now reframe it to I'm helping people?
I'm working on that,
Yeah.
honestly. I'm still working on it, but yes, I'm trying
Yeah.
to really talk to myself in that way and that I
Yeah.
am helping and offering something of
Well,
value.
let's help a little bit right now. I'm going to coach you just a little bit,
Okay.
okay? Okay, so when you think about what you're about to deliver to people, because I would imagine you haven't delivered it yet, it's
Yes,
going to be set in these calls. When
yes.
will you deliver it? How long from now?
They can book between May 11th and June 21st
Wonderful.
to actually book these
What
sessions.
when you think about like break down those three offers, the first one, the $97, what do people get from you?
30-minute call with me and a live resume review. So I'm going to provide them with review feedback on their resume, things that they can do right away to improve their resume.
And then the 300?
The 300 is three separate coaching sessions, no resume included, but to
Mhm.
really help them get clarity in terms of where they're going on their career journey and some strategies for how to get there, more mindset work, which is
Yes.
teach what we most need to learn. But yeah.
Hmm. And then the third one is the highest ticket. What is that?
Yes, and that is the three coaching sessions plus resume review and some guidance on how to leverage LinkedIn.
Okay. So the most you're charging someone is $500. The
Yes.
least you're charging someone is $97. What could happen after, think of one of them. What could happen after they have those calls with you?
Landing a job, especially for someone who's currently unemployed or just ready to make a transition. I think the ultimate goal for people is either to land a job or to just get more clarity about where they think they want to go in their career. So that's kind of the transformation that I hope people get.
Yeah. So if you think about for you when you're thinking about trying to get yourself to understand that this is helping, if someone comes to you and they pay you $97, and with that $97, they get closer to a job that pays them 20, 30, $50,000 a year. Is that worth it?
I think that's more than worth it.
If at $300 you help them land that job because they are ready to go, or you help them get a promotion, or you help them find the job that they truly want to have, is any of that worth $300?
Oh, that's so much value.
And with the 500 where they get everything,
Uh-huh.
and let's say it helps them make an additional $12,000 a year because it helped them get a promotion, does that seem like a value to you?
Absolutely.
Then absolutely you can think about this as helpful,
Helpful. Not sales, but helpful.
but helpful. And
Wow.
it's up to them, and some people are going to take it and they're going to run with it, and some people will not do anything with it. But either way, they now have the information, they have the clarity from you, and they have the confidence from you. And
Mm,
it's up to them to run with it and take it further.
okay.
And that alone, even if it has nothing to do being tied with salary, that alone is a valuable transformation. That,
I don't think I've looked at it quite like that.
yes, because a lot of people are out here, and it's not a bad thing, but a lot of people charge 5,000, 10,000. When you start to look at how millionaires are made,
Hmm.
especially in the education space, the coach space, you see people charging 10, 25,000, $100,000 for the same thing, but just packaged differently.
Mm,
And so if you are someone who is providing such great value at a price point that is less than $1,000,
hmm.
then I think it's a service-based business. I think it's like a service leadership, because
Hmm.
you can't do everything for free because you have to pay the bills.
Right.
But I think you not only should you think of it as helpful and not salesy, you should think of it as actually you're donating a lot of your time, if I'm being honest, right?
Wow.
And that's good. I mean, keep doing that. Get your chops, get your reps in,
Hmm.
testimonials, help people, make it all about how can I help people.
Hmm.
And as you do that and do that and stack, and obviously you've had your season, but just stack and stack and stack, and then you can look at it as okay. Now I may talk to only executives where my training will help them go from 120,000 to 150,000 a year. Is that a
Hmm.
$5,000 program? Is that a $10,000 program? And that can happen within 12 months, I think, for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's really, really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this I think this has been really helpful for people. Let us know in the comments, everyone, let us know in the comments what you're thinking. As always, I've just started this tradition. I'm going to put your referral link in the description and the pinned comment of this video. So if anybody
Oh,
joins your first 5K, you will be contributing to Ricklin's work, and she'll get 50% of the amount that you pay. For the first 1,000 people who join, it is only $9 per month or $45 a year, which is outrageous. And we're past 800 people already. So get in where you fit in. Over the weekend, we're going to probably reach 1,000. We're very close to it. And if there's anything else that you want to make sure that people understand, knowing what you just came through, like you powered through, what would that be?
probably the main thing is community matters. I think
Mm,
as a solopreneur, even someone doing this as a side hustle, which I've done that over time, is it can get lonely. It can get confusing. You don't know what to be doing. And so I think I'm blown away. I didn't expect to get what I've gotten in just 2 weeks within the community. Even from others, like I think most people are
yeah.
going to join because of you, of course, but the impact that I've gotten from others within the community, like before I would check LinkedIn first in the morning. Now I'm checking your first 5K.
Wow. Can you speak to that a little bit, the community? Because that's 100% across anything that I do, any membership that I have, no matter where it is, what it is. People join because they want to work with me, and
Yeah.
then they walk away with lifelong friends or collaborators in business. Talk about what that's like inside of the communities for people who don't know.
Yeah, it's look, it's lit. They say like there's just the encouragement. And I think maybe the other thing that has blown me away is the number of people, like you said, 800 people already, more than, who are on this journey of trying to figure this thing out, whether it's building a full-time business, part-time business, supplementing their income. I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I'll be honest that the representation in the group, mind blown. I don't
Yeah.
know what exactly my expectation was, but to see people who look like me, also on this journey and wanting more for themselves, like it's just so affirming. And it's
Yeah.
also, heard Gail, you interviewed Gail, and even I think she gave me a little bit of mojo. I was like, okay, if she can't, I can. And so
Yes.
there's some of that's where you're just being pushed and encouraged by people who are on the same path as you. And it's been helpful. Like I feel like I found my tribe, my people, and we're gonna win together.
I love that. Yeah, it's such a beautiful mixture of people. I would say if I had to guess, it's probably at least 80% women of color,
Mhm.
probably 80% black women if we're being very specific, and it's probably 60% of people are 40 to 60,
Mhm.
if not more. And then you have some men, you have white women, you have people from other countries.
Yes,
I think there's a little bit for everybody.
there
And I
is.
think that's what makes it so special. And it's always what I strive for. Because when I talk about diversity, I talk about true diversity.
Yes.
And true
Yeah.
diversity means it's not just, all the same of anything.
Hmm.
And you can find your people, but it's something so empowering and valuable about walking into a space,
Hmm.
virtually or in person, where you're like, not I don't have to explain myself here.
Right.
I'm seeing myself here. They already have the seat at the table for me set.
Yes. I just sent a message to a gentleman in the DR, like just hey, like in the
Yeah.
community, like there's
Yeah.
people all over, like you said. So it's been
Yeah.
great from that perspective.
Yeah. Incredible. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this. I imagine that we're going to get a lot of really great feedback because you've been so forthcoming and even vulnerable, and that's special. What are you what are you looking forward to the most now? What do you think your next step will be?
My next step is going to do more sharing of what I
Mm,
have to
okay.
offer.
Hmm. Hmm.
More sharing in that way. And I've got some coaching cohorts, group coaching that
Yeah.
I'm lining up, that I'm working on. So just
Yeah.
building from here.
Yeah, and if I can give any advice, it would be to stick to your offers that you have right now. Do
Mhm.
exactly what you've been doing until you reach the 5K.
Oh, that's good.
That would be what I would do
Mhm.
because what we sometimes do if we have some success is we're like, okay, how can I apply that to other things? And we
Yeah.
don't realize that this is just the beginning of that compounded interest. And if we
Mhm.
stay here, it just gets easier and faster and easier
I
and
see what you're
less
saying.
friction. So if you
Mhm.
reach the 5K, then you can say, okay, now what do I, what can I do now?
Gotta hit
Yeah,
that goal.
hit that goal.
Can I say one last thing about
Of
the
course you
group?
can. Of course.
What this also taught me in seeing your group was that your people will find you.
Mm-hmm. What do you
Like
mean by that?
you put this out into, whether your YouTube channel, the membership groups, like you have a community of people who have gravitated towards your work for whatever their reason might be. And the
Yes.
same applies to us. So I put that offer. All 118 people didn't sign up clearly, but those who needed what I had to offer in this moment, those who felt connected to me in some way, like your people will find you.
Yeah, yeah. And I know we keep almost finishing, but I have one more question for you. I thought about this. So when you're teaching people how to work on their resume and work on their jobs, can you just speak just a little bit about that experience that you've had with those things and why this is your offer?
Oh, yes. I have been in human resources for 20 years. I
Oh,
was a recruiter. That's the part of HR that I enjoyed most was the people development, helping people get out of jobs that were not suited for them and to find work that they really felt connected to.
yeah.
That's really the core of my business is career coaching through the lens of HR because I've been on the other side of the table. And
Mm,
so I provide insight as a former recruiter and HR executive to what organizations are looking for.
that makes sense. So you kind of left the corporate world because you want to be an entrepreneur and
Mhm.
work for yourself, but you have all that experience. And for people who do want to be in the corporate world, that makes sense.
Exactly.
That makes
Yes.
all the sense in the
Thank you
world. I
for
love it.
asking
I
that.
love it. We all have experience in something, and it's all valuable, in my opinion. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.